This Russian peasant kind of multiplication is kind of interesting. The kind of modern name you'll see is dupletion and mediation, but it's just a Russian peasant thing, and you pick either factor, it doesn't matter. I picked the one on the left because that's what I saw first. And you cut it in half and you get rid of any remainder. So half of 27 is about 13. There's a remainder of 1, but you just get rid of it. And then you're cutting this one in half, so you double the other one. You add it to itself, or you multiply it by 2. And you repeat. So you're going to cut this one in half. It's 6. You're going to get rid of the remainder. You're going to double this one. That's 124. And you repeat. You cut this one in half. There is no remainder. And you're going to double this one, and that's 248. And you repeat. You cut this in half and get rid of the remainder, and that's 1. And you double this, and you get 500. Take away 4, which is 496. And then what you do is you cross out any rows where there's an even number on the side where you were dividing by 2. And so here's an even number. And then you add this column. So 1 plus 2 plus 8 plus 6 is 17. Carry the 1, that's 10. 13 is 23. Carry the 2. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 4 is 8. So the answer to this multiplication is 837. Now you might want to test that out. It certainly ends in the right digit, 7, but let's just try it and see. I have to say I kind of admire our method of multiplying. This Russian peasant multiplication is pretty interesting in that all you have to be able to do is divide by 2 and multiply by 2, or cut in half and double. And there's no multiplication tables that have to be memorized. You have to know how to add, but you don't have to really know how to multiply. So in effect, you can do multiplication without knowing multiplication facts, but it takes a while. It's kind of interesting, but it takes a while. So let's use the Russian peasant method again. Half of 93 is 46. There's a remainder of 1, but you just sort of get rid of it. We're doubling this and we get 186. Half of this is 23. There is no remainder. We're doubling this. It's 360 plus 12. It's 372. Half of this is 11. We're doubling this. We get 740 plus 4. Half of this is 5. We're doubling this. We get 88141. Half of this is 2. We're doubling this. Let's see here. 6171. I don't know why I'm having trouble here, but I am. So let me double check. That would be 28, and then would it be 176? I think so. You know what? I don't know for sure. So I'm gonna find out for sure. Yeah, I was right. So now we're going to double that again, and I'm simply going to add it to itself. Cross out any ones that are even. Precious few of them are even. They're kind of lined up, but I'm going to line them up a little better. When I'm adding, I like to have my digits all lined up. So I'm adding these ones that were in the doubled row. 5 and 15 and 19, carry the 1, 10, 17, 21, 29, 34, carry the 3, 13, 17, 26, carry the 2, 8, 6, 4, 9 is what I'm getting. And I'll let you check it, but I think that checks. I think it is 8, 6, 4, 9. I don't know if you've studied the V problem, V7, but if you have, This is not the Russian peasant method. This is the method you can do in your head. 3 times 3 is 9. This is 27. This is 27. That's 54. Write down the 5. This times this is 81 plus the 5 is 86. So we can actually do this in our head if we're thoughtful, because we know some multiplication facts. We're going to multiply these two numbers, 567 times 8, using the lattice multiplication. So we make a little setup like this. And 8 times 5 is 40, and we write the 40 like so. And 8 times 6 is 48, we write the 48 like so. 8 times 7 is 56, we write the 56. And then we start in the lower left-hand right, and we add along the diagonal. So this diagonal gives us 6. And this diagonal gives us 13, and we're carrying the 1 over here. And this diagonal gives us 1 plus 4 plus 0, which is 5. And this diagonal gives us 4. So the answer is 4536, 4,536. Don't know if it's easier, but it is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting the different kinds of ways we can multiply. Notice the Russian peasant multiplication didn't really make you know multiplication facts, but this method you really do need to know multiplication facts. Next we'll do one that's a little larger of a problem. So let's try another one. 6 times 3, 6 times 1, 6 times 4, 5 times 3, 5 times 1, 5 times 4, 2 times 3, 2 times 1, 2 times 4. We're going to add along this diagonal, that's 8. Add along this diagonal, that's 2. Add along to this diagonal, that's 7. Carry a 1. Add along this diagonal, that's 14. Carry a 1. Add along this diagonal, that's 10. Carry a 1, and we have 2. So the answer is 204,728. It's a different way of doing multiplication. It's kind of interesting. I certainly wouldn't go so far as to say it's a better way to do multiplication. You know, these are just a couple. The Russian peasant method and the lattice method are just a couple of different ways. And V7 has a way that you can do in your head. So look at these and see if they interest you.